The Strait of Hormuz is technically reopening, which is a bit like saying a door is technically unlocked while someone stands behind it holding a mine risk assessment and a charter party dispute.
DeepDraft Desk has been tracking exactly that gap this week, the distance between a political signal and an executable voyage. We're starting with Hormuz and what the reopening actually demands before a master can act on it.
The core tension this week is that Hormuz has shifted from closure pressure into something called a controlled reopening test. And the question is what controlled actually costs the people operating the ships.
The brief puts it plainly. The operational question is what happens before they try. The choke point decision chain starts in geopolitics, passes through cargo selection, insurance appetite, refinery compatibility, and vessel employment, then reaches the master as revised orders, waiting instructions, or conditional routing.
So by the time the master gets an instruction, 6 or 7 shoreside filters have already run. The bridge is the last stop on a very long chain, not the first decision maker.
That's the argument in the flagship analysis. Hormuz to Malacca, how choke point risk reaches the bridge. It makes a point that's easy to miss. Waiting is not a pause. A tanker drifting off Malacca is still burning fuel, managing traffic density, handling security posture, and preserving crew endurance. AIS shows position. It does not show commercial intent or sanctions exposure.
The daily timeline in the brief fills in what that looked like in practice. Selected LNG and crude cargoes moved, Fuwairit, Al Rayyan, Eagle Verona, but selective release is not open transit.
And conditions kept shifting. U.S. strikes on Iranian mine-laying boats on May 27th, the Olympic Life explosion off Muscat, then South Korea's assessment that HMM Namu was likely hit by an Iranian anti-ship missile. A single crossing by COSCO's Hualin Wan did not equal restored routing certainty.
Then a second theater opened entirely. 3 tankers hit by drones off Turkey's Black Sea coast, 2 during STS operations. James II, Altura, Valora. Operators were suddenly managing simultaneous security problems on opposite ends of the map.
The commercial test sharpened on May 30 when Washington demanded unrestricted no-toll traffic and Chevron refused to pay straight fees. The brief's conclusion is direct. Political reopening signals may move oil prices, but they do not by themselves create executable voyage authority for a master.
The risk carrying into next week, per the brief, is controlled transit ambiguity. A vessel may be able to move, but that does not mean the voyage is clean.
The thread running through all of it is the gap between a signal and an instruction, between something being possible and something being authorized, insured, and safe to execute.
Next week, watch whether that gap narrows or just gets better dressed. We'll be back with whatever the Strait decides to do next.